Hey, welcome back to Man vs. Weed, the cannabis review podcast that puts one man's lungs against corporate weed to see which one fails first. You can find the show on YouTube now, or Google, Apple, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts. If you want to get involved in the discussion, make sure to follow me at StreetVillain on Twitter, and if you want to drop me a line or give me any questions, give me an email at manversusweedthc@gmail.com. Okay, you know the deal. My girl picks the strain with no experience, and I smoke it with the critical eye of 30 years experience. Today she picked Cold Creek Kush by Redecan. She chose Cold Creek Kush because it was the only gram in the whole place aside from one other, which I will review later. So she pretty much had no choice. So here we go again, Redecan. New strain, same concerns. I discussed the mold, recalls, insect bodies, and terrible customer service in the last episode, so I won't go through all that again. If you haven't already, go give that one a listen. So, about Redecan, they're a family-owned licensed producer that is greenhouse grown using nothing but rainbows and Health Canada approved unicorn farts, if memory serves correctly. At least that's what I can assume that's what they mean when they're talking about unique growing process that sets them apart from everybody else. They say our dry flower is grown using natural growing methods, and that's true. It is definitely dry. Then they say it's a sativa-dominant hybrid between MK Ultra and ChemDog 91. They claim it's a hard-hitting strain at 17 to 23%, and it's recognized for its dank smell. Don't say that, Redecan. You're setting yourself up for failure. Don't get my hopes up. They say it resembles earth, wood, sour, and pine. They also describe it as dank. Again, they really want you to know it's dank. It's spicy and herbal and formed by high levels of beta-pinene, nerolidol, transcarotene, and limonene. It's another one of these evergreen strains, which is unlike their other strains because only those ones are, and I quote, carefully harvested, expertly cured to preserve natural flavor and moisture. Come on now, Redecan, don't get my hopes up. I'm going to expect flavor and moisture. They say it's trimmed and inspected by hand. So if that's what evergreen strains are, what happens to the non-evergreen strains? Are they not carefully harvested, cured, and trimmed? Are they not inspected? Nope, sorry. If you want that cured stuff, you're going to want to go with the evergreen strain. Huh? Shouldn't it all? You know what? I'm overthinking this. Let's go on. So again with the inconsistent terpene profiles, on the Redecan website, they claim it's 56% myrcene, 20% carotene, and 7% humulene. But the BC Cannabis Store says that it's 8% carotene, 6% linalool, and 58% pinene. And then it says other, with the percentage just left blank. What? I don't know what to tell you. My sample was packaged in January 2021, and so it should be nice and fresh, which gets me kind of excited, and it's totally not setting myself up to be let down. It's your typical jar-in-a-box configuration, because fuck the planet, that's why. At 5 episodes deep, I'm starting to get the hang of this, so after getting by the adult-proof cap, I put my nose right up to the safety seal before I opened it. Experience tells me this is where you'll find the ghost of terpenes past, and your best chance of smelling anything. Because when I cracked the seal, I got a hint of that ghost, but she was never seen again. It's almost kind of spooky how you could put your nose right up to the flower and smell nothing. Poor thing. I feel bad for it. Friends don't let friends irradiate cannabis. Now, maybe it's not the radiation damaging the terpenes and destroying the trichomes. Maybe it's got something to do with the fact that it's drier than a mummy's asshole. That's right, despite the fact that it says it was packaged just 2 months ago, these pea buds and stem chunks were dusty-ass dry. When I crunched it in my fingertips, it reminded me of autumn leaves crunching under my feet. It disintegrated into a fine powder that wasn't sticky in the slightest and had very little to no smell. Under the microscope, the trichomes were fried and mostly amber, indicating a late harvest. That is, the ones that were there. You see, many stalks were missing trichome heads. Again, I can only speculate, I don't know for sure. But between radiation, late harvest, and machine trimmers, these delicate trichomes will take a beating, leaving you with less than an amazing product. After removing the stems and grinding it up, it was very small. Like, I felt ripped off. I was like, where's the rest of my gram? But I didn't bother weighing it because they're never going to give you a refund or anything anyways, so who cares? So I rolled it all up into a dried, dusty, pathetically small gram joint using my trusty raw organics and a clean glass mouthpiece. I lit it up and it burned okay. It didn't need to be relit or anything, but it tasted like TV static or paying bills. Bitter and lifeless. Boring. I was promised moisture and flavor. Remember that, I was. Unless the absence of moisture and bitter, lifeless flavor was what they had in mind, it didn't deliver. The ash was the usual dingy, gray, dark, and it immediately burned my throat and sinuses. It made my throat feel tight, constricted, and that same bitter taste that Wappa had. I don't know, maybe the burning in your sinuses is how you know it's working. I'm new to this legal weed grift after all. But as expected, the high was barely there, and the tiny gram didn't help in that regard. After about 30 minutes, you would think I never even smoked anything. This weed is $8 a gram, so that's $224 plus tax per ounce. An $8 joint that looked like shit, tasted like shit, and didn't do shit. So would I leave the black market to buy this? I'm afraid not. Make sure you subscribe and review. If you know someone who might find this podcast useful, tell them to pop by. As always, follow me at StreetVillain on Twitter. If you have any questions, send them to me at manvsweedthc@gmail.com, and I'll answer them on the next episode and give you a shout out. Until next time, free the motherfucking weed.